Support the He podcast via a one-time donation, a monthly subscription from as low as $1, a lifetime membership, and purchase He's exclusive collection of merchandise. And for all other business inquiries at buymeacoffee.com/Rafi. Who is he? He is me. Hi, I'm Rafi Redzwan. This is he. Here is my chance to share some amazing stories with some amazing people that are inspiring to me. He celebrates everyday people of everyday life. He revolves around conversations that inspire others to change the world and make a difference in life, with a little bit of laughter and a whole lot of drama. Join me for personal stories and experiences on health and healing, successes and failures, recovery and discovery, anything relatable, and anything in between. He elevates us to rise again and live our very best life. Just so you know, you are not alone. He is with you. Hi, young Mulia, Tengku Shaheera.
Hi, Refi. How are you?
Good, how are you?
I'm well, thank you.
Well, thank you for saying yes to me. I'm so honored to have you on the show in this season finale of He. And this conversation is so important to me because this current rate of life that we live in today, the world that we live in today, so much of us, especially myself, are in the dark. And I think seeing the light is something that we appreciate. And I think choosing this topic for you, The Light We Carry, obviously is a book written by Michelle Obama. And I'm so inspired by her journey, and I'm glad you chose this topic. And this isn't just about the story of light. I think this is a conversation about self-discovery, leadership, and the enduring impact of carrying a light that illuminates the path for a lot of people. In the season finale, Yang Mulia Tengku Shaheera will shed a light on the values of experiences and inner strength that guide your journey of personal growth and community service. As a driving force behind Yayasan Tengku Abdullah, I want you to share the foundation's mission to uplift the lives of the others through initiatives in education, healthcare, and social development, reflecting on the lessons you learn along the way. And I hope through these heartfelt stories, you can reveal how challenging it is to navigate life itself and how you shape your resilience to carry a light that has allowed you for a meaningful contribution while staying true to your authentic self. Now, what does carrying a light mean to you, and how it has guided your journey of self-discovery and leadership?
First of all, I just want to say how wonderful it is to be here on my first podcast ever. Thank you for inviting me to have a platform for Yayasan Tengku Abdullah, and
Yes.
it's a privilege to have this opportunity to reflect on the values, my experiences, and our mission for YTA.
Wow.
We can move on to your first question. So, what does carrying a light mean to me? It means embodying hope, purpose, and resilience, not just for myself, but for those around me. It's about recognizing that we all have a light within us to guide the way, and it's important that we use this light to uplift others. In my leadership and personal growth, this light has become my constant guide, reminding me to stay grounded in compassion and focus on creating meaningful change. No matter who you are or where you are at the socioeconomic scale, all of us
Yes.
go through hardships in one form or another, and I acknowledge my blessings that I have, and I want to give back to the people that need it the most. So this light is a deeply personal reminder to lead life with humility, integrity, and authenticity.
Wow. Wow. And prior to that, I did a little review of Yayasan Tengku Abdullah. The inspiration behind Yayasan Tengku Abdullah is such an inspiring thing to do. How did the founding of Yayasan Tengku Abdullah come to life, and what inspired its mission to uplift communities?
So YTA was founded in 2021, just shortly after COVID. It was
Yes.
born out of a vision to bridge socioeconomic gaps in Malaysia. What we do go beyond simply providing aid, as we're dedicated to creating hope and uplifting the lives of those who need it the most.
Mhm.
The inspiration came from a collective desire to empower undeserved communities, particularly those from the B40 group, single mothers and orphans. As you know,
Mm.
during COVID, they suffered the most.
Yes.
This mission is, of course, very personal to me because
Mm.
my late father was also heavily involved in a lot of charities during his time. So when he passed away in, I would say, 2018,
Yes.
it became my passion and responsibility to continue his legacy and to do it also with my brother, Tengku Shaheera Abdullah, who is the executive director of YTA
Mm.
and the
Mm.
chairman of FOMEMA.
Yes, yes. So it's been 4 years now, four,
Yeah,
5 years.
since
Yeah. Wow.
YTA.
Does it provide a nationwide scale of assistance through the Yayasan?
So a wide scale meaning that I try
Mhm.
to help a lot of people in different sectors.
Mhm.
When I started YTA, we didn't really have a focus, but along the years, we have found a few pillars that we have just been concentrating on, which I will share
Yeah,
later.
yeah, wonderful. The impact on community. I think this is an important and integral part of YTA. How has the foundation's mission to uplift lives in education, healthcare, and social development impacted the communities? I also see that, and sometimes in the work that you do, in the charity events that you have hosted, it involves a lot of education, providing
Correct.
laptops, healthcare, such as medicinal needs and other social developments. How has the foundation's mission uplift all the above?
As YTA has developed over the years, we have centered our effort into three critical pillars, which is empowering communities, nurturing wellness, and cultivating heritage.
Hmm.
And we have journeyed across the nation of Malaysia. So we
Yeah.
have ventured into Pahang, Kedah, Johor, Kelantan, Terengganu, and this has only been 3 years since YTA has been born. And I'm proud to share that we have touched over 5,000 individuals and families.
Hmm.
Within these three pillars, the
Yeah.
first one, which I mentioned, is empowering communities.
Yeah.
We've done this by including providing free eye screenings
Hmm.
and prescription glasses to B40 students,
Yeah.
enabling them to learn more effectively to date. And we've actually donated over 1,100 prescription glasses, and we've
Wow.
equipped rural schools with ICT equipment to foster a better learning environment and also smart TVs.
Mm.
And beyond education, we have provided basic necessities and essentials like formula milk and sanitary pads for B40 families.
Hmm.
And the second pillar is nurturing wellness.
Yes.
So, by prioritizing health education, hygiene awareness, and access to wellness services, we have, collaborated with Pusat Dara Negara. We've hosted blood donation drives every year during World AIDS Day. We host a lecture to raise awareness about HIV and AIDS. And actually, a more personal example, someone that we have worked with over the past few years now, someone named Muhammad Aiman Shafiq.
Hmm.
His family was affected by the floods in Pahang. So someone from the Istana reached out to YTA and told me that he needed a prosthetic leg because he's not
Hmm.
able to fund it himself.
Hmm.
So since we were able to fund his medical assistance, it enabled him to, be able to walk now, and he has a bedridden mother that he can take care of. Stories like Ayman, we met him about 2 years ago, and whenever we're in Pahang, we always try to see him and still give him support until today. So he asked for a TV for his mom. So, I'd like to highlight that
Yes.
YTA, we try to nurture these relationships with people because we don't want them to feel like it's a one-off case. It's
Yeah, yeah.
yeah,
Wow, wow. It's usually a one-off thing that once they get an assistant, that's it.
yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
but it's not like that. It's a process because I think healing in that journey, it's not just one-time assistant. It is
Yeah,
nurturing. It is a process that I think you will be probably, if you decide to get involved in that journey, you would try to accommodate as much as you can.
yeah, I agree.
Yeah,
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 and that's
yeah.
exactly what I wanted to do since the
Mm.
beginning of YTA.
Prior to that, prior to Aiman's story, for example, people who are in need in Malaysia, for example, how do they get through this in seeking assistance? Is there a body prior to get into YTA, or how do they get screened? They require an assistance to help them rebuild their life from, say, floods or COVID, for example, or lose a job if they become sick. Prior to that, how do people seek assistance?
That's also what I was
Ah,
thinking. How, if YTA didn't exist, how
yeah.
would Ayman
Yes,
have,
yeah. How
yeah,
would I
exactly.
might? Yeah.
With his accident, because he
Mm-hmm.
was underage that time when it happened to him, and he was riding a motorcycle, and these he's from the kampong,
Mm-mm.
so when he got his accident, he wasn't able to claim insurance. So
Mm.
that's why he could never pay for his prosthetic leg.
Mm-mm.
So I think it would be from fundraising, from their own community. We have a lot of cases of people that are not able to fundraise. So that's why I
Mm.
feel very privileged to be able to help them.
Mm-mm.
And I feel
Mm.
that that makes the relationship between YTA and the person even stronger.
And through this service, I'm sure you have learned something throughout this journey, especially in your personal growth. Can you share a defining moment when your work with YTA led to a profound personal transformation?
Over the years, we have executed numerous community outreach programs, but one of the most meaningful programs that we still have until today is that my late father actually built a mosque in Masjid Al Azam in Lanchang, Pahang.
Mm-hmm.
And throughout the years, we have undertaken the efforts to upkeep the mosque facilities. And this is important as it remains a welcoming space for worship and community activities.
Yeah.
Because 2 years ago, when the floods happened again in Pahang,
Mm-hmm.
this masjid actually turned into a temporary shelter for the community.
Mm.
So they were all staying at the mosque. And actually, now every year, since my dad was around, we host a iftar session with the community, and we have about 600 of the orang kampung joining us during Ramadan, and we are able to distribute financial assistance, and
Mm.
it's all about having this community feeling, and for them to know that every year we'll be back. I think that's quite meaningful to me, as it's something that I feel like my dad has passed on to me, because
Yeah.
we were doing it when he was around, and now I'm able to do it when he's not around still, and even better.
Yes, yes. Ever since we moved here from America, it's an eye-opening experience for me to be in this town and actually witness what people go through around here, especially during floods.
Mm-hmm.
And when you spoke about the story of Aiman and the story of floods and helping, one of the reasons I approach you is because I'm in that community right now, living and witness this kind of things happening here. It's so surreal to me. It's actually
Yeah.
happening.
Yeah.
And yeah, and it's like the thing that you said initially in the beginning of the conversation that we are blessed with so many things, and yet this is the best way we can give back. By giving back, I think people would know that, you're not alone in this journey.
It's true. So also
Kan?
recently, they had the Kelantan floods last month.
Mm, mm,
And my team actually went to Kelantan, and we were able to help over 300 families.
mm.
And when they went, we gave them like a sort of comfort essential kit.
Yeah.
And to be different and actually to be helpful, we included things like power bank in these kits, because when they're staying in these flood centers, there's not enough access to electricity. So we thought,
Mm.
okay, this is important. We gave them a lot of medicine, Panadols, painkillers,
Yeah.
towels, and toiletries to try and ease their challenges. It's
You,
really effective.
and you know what? I find it very special in this is that when you spoke about laptops,
Hmm.
power banks, they're no longer luxury, you know?
Yeah,
And then, you're right? And then when you give this kind of stuff, they're necessities.
yeah,
People need
exactly.
it, especially when people say, hey, handphones and stuff like that. Those are necessities. People need it to communicate, to do banking stuff. So if they lose it and you donate, YTA can provide that stuff for people that are in need. I
Mhm.
remember to a point in my experience here when COVID happened, this situation, things like this are considered luxury when they're not.
Yeah,
So when we look at things that way, it really opened doors to think that this is no longer a luxury. This is
an
a
essential.
necessity. Yes,
Yeah,
essential.
not a cheap
Yeah,
essential,
it's not cheap essentials, but
Yeah,
they need it. Yeah. So
they
if
need
you
it.
can help, yes, you it's not cheap. That's
Yeah.
true. Just now, yeah. And you mentioned TV just now. They need
Yeah.
TV. TV is something that is expensive, but I think it's essential.
Because now when I go to a lot of the schools in
Mm.
like quite rural areas, most of their syllabus have moved to online, but they don't have
Yes.
funds to
Yes.
purchase smart TVs. And
Yes.
actually,
Wow.
most of the teachers
Wow.
don't know how to use it, right?
Yes, yeah. It gives me goosebumps just talking about it because TV, I mean, they need it because they use all these online tools. They need TV, they need internet.
Yeah.
So I think if YTA, Yayasan Tengku Abdullah, is a trailblazer in this, I hope others will emulate through these
Yeah.
initiatives.
I hope
Yeah?
so. Yeah.
Wow, wow. I'm proud of you, Tengku Shaheera.
Thank you so
Now,
much.
now, overcoming challenges, what has been the most challenging obstacle in your journey, and how did you find strength to persevere?
I think one of the biggest challenges has been trying to navigate the diverse needs of the different communities that we're trying to serve. It
Mm-hmm.
can feel overwhelming at times knowing that resources are finite while the needs are immense.
Yes.
But what keeps me going is the support of my team and the stories of resilience from the people that we help. So actually, their resilience and determination inspire me to keep pushing forward. And I learned that you don't need to solve everything at once.
Yeah.
Happens
Yeah.
incrementally, and each contribution matters. So, as much as I would like to fulfill everyone's wish, I can't.
Mm-mm. Yes, yes. You do one thing at a time. And yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I
So
so know
maybe,
what that means. Yeah.
I always tell my team, okay, maybe this year we can give partly, and then next year we can give another portion so we can still have that, like nurturing the relationships. I
Mm-hmm.
try to take it in portions.
Yeah.
So maybe a bit this year and some next year. So what I spoke about
Mm-mm.
nurturing relationships to not be a one-off
Yes.
thing. I would like to, work with people the long term.
Mm-hmm. How can people help to contribute in YTA, be it financially or physically?
Financially, I do sometimes try to reach out on my public Instagram when I feel like my maybe my network of friends, they're
Mm-mm.
happy to give a few donations
Yeah.
when I do ask. But physically, I feel that in the community, I feel like we shouldn't be scared to ask.
Yeah.
So I always ask people that, they can ask me for anything, and sometimes maybe I can't help, but I can direct them to someone that can help.
Mm-mm.
But
Mm-mm.
physically, right now, also, I do get a lot of requests for people volunteering, but
Volunteer. Yeah.
yeah, but
Yeah.
unfortunately, we can't take in volunteers yet.
Okay. Empowering women and youth. I think this is an important journey in your experience in YTA. How do you believe your work and leadership inspire and empower women and young people to embrace their potential?
So, I believe leadership is about creating opportunities for others to grow and thrive. At YTA, we've always strived to empower women and youth, offering resources, education, and mentorship to help realize their potential.
Mm-hmm.
We aim to place a greater focus on empowering young women, particularly those from the B40 segment. In
Yes.
this regard, one of the initiatives that we are passionate about is our ongoing effort to address period poverty poverty by
Mhm.
providing young women from B40 families with sanitary pads. And we aim to build this foundation by offering health talks to raise awareness about personal hygiene and its importance. And we are also exploring entrepreneurship programs that will equip underprivileged women with the skills they need to enhance their livelihoods and create
Mm.
opportunities for themselves. So, as a female leader, I
Yeah.
feel a personal responsibility to do more in this area. And it's not just about addressing immediate needs, but also building a sustainable initiative that creates meaningful long term change for these women.
Coming back to the roles that you bring in this journey, from family influences to personal revelations, your perspective on navigating life's complexities and with compassion and purpose, how do you balance your role? How do you navigate the balance between your personal identity and the responsibilities of being a leader and a community figure?
For me, it's about staying grounded in my values and finding joy in the small moments,
Mm-hmm.
whether that's spending time with family or simply reflecting on the positive impact of our work. Leadership comes with a weight of expectation, but I see it as a privilege. My role isn't just to lead, but to serve. And that perspective helps me navigate the complexities of balancing these roles.
And I'm curious, when you do all this, how do you feel personally?
I do feel fulfilled. So I
Yeah?
do feel, yeah, very it's very fulfilling after, our events. We travel so far. So it's all these effort
Mm-hmm.
that really makes you feel fulfilled.
Yeah, yeah.
And
Oh,
I feel very also proud of my team
yeah.
because a lot of people don't see the behind the scenes, but
Yeah.
they drive sometimes for 8 hours to
Yes.
get to these people. Yeah,
Yeah.
people don't know that. It's not something that we
Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
advertise. So
Yeah.
there's also, I need to keep my team happy
Yeah.
because, yeah.
I think it's a very holistic approach, and it's not just about helping people in the community, but people that you work with, people that
Yeah.
work for you in this journey. And that serves in finding purpose. And what role has your cultural heritage and family influence played in shaping your sense of purpose?
So my family have been my greatest teachers.
Yeah.
They've instilled in me a deep respect for tradition, community, and service.
Mm-hmm.
From a young age, I've had the privilege of accompanying my late father on visits to Orang Asli
Yeah.
communities and a lot of rural masjids where I witnessed firsthand the power of kindness and service.
Yeah.
These early experiences exposed me to the importance of a meaningful outreach
Mm-hmm.
and taught me that small acts of care can create ripples of positive change. And that understanding has shaped my approach to YTA's mission. My late father,
Mm.
especially, who was an exemplary role model,
Yeah.
always emphasized leading by example. And
Mm-hmm.
I've carried that lesson with me throughout my life. Our family has always been actively involved in community efforts. We often collaborate with each other. As you know, I've also collaborated with Tengku Fahad's futsal team, Pahang
Yeah.
Rangers.
Yeah.
And in the beginning, he asked me for, of course, sponsorship for his futsal team, but I said in return, I would like his futsal team to do a lot of community engagement. So we have
Mm.
kind of a mentor program where we get underprivileged kids to play with, his players. So my family, like I said, is very involved also in lots of charity work. And it goes beyond honoring the past. It's about inspiring the youth to celebrate and carry forward Malaysia's rich cultural traditions for future generations.
And what would your words of wisdom be, and what advice would you give to others who wish to illuminate their own path and make meaningful contributions to society?
I would say start with what you can today.
Mm-hmm.
Making a difference doesn't require grand gestures. It
Yeah.
begins with small, consistent actions rooted in compassion and purpose. Surround yourself with people who inspire you, who are like minded, and don't be afraid to learn from challenges. Most importantly, believe in your ability to create change, no matter how small it may seem. These
Mm-hmm.
reminders and values are what drives us at YCA. today. While we strive to create a lasting positive impact in the communities we serve, we also hope to empower others to do the same through our efforts. And we believe that helping others isn't always about financial contributions. It's also about giving your time and energy,
Yeah.
which can often have an even greater impact.
Yes.
Sometimes a kind gesture or a willingness to lend a hand can bring more value than monetary aid.
Yeah. Wow. Tengku Shaheera. Really am so happy to have you join me today. Now, before we end the conversation, Yang Mulia Tengku Shaheera, what are your hopes for the future of Yayasan Tengku Abdullah, and how do you envision the legacy of the light you carry?
My aspiration for YTA is to grow into an organization that truly makes a difference for those who need it the most. The legacy I hope to leave for YTA is that it continues to grow as a catalyst for change, reaching more communities and providing sustainable solutions that could make more lives better. I envision a future where our efforts not only address urgent challenges, but also equip communities with the tools and opportunities to sustain themselves and thrive. It's
Yeah.
about creating access to education, healthcare, and cultural preservation for tens of thousands of Malaysians, something that I believe we can achieve when we work collectively towards a more equitable and inclusive society. So I'm always open for collaborations, which is
Yeah.
what I think is really important.
Well said, well said. I really am proud of you. I'm proud of myself for having you today.
Thank
Um,
you.
I'm so honored to share your story with the world and how Yayasan Tengku Abdullah started and how it has bring you to a journey of personal growth and how you overcome challenges and provide an impact to the community, and especially empowering women and youth. Coming from, a family of influence, I think this is a noble thing for you to carry the legacy on from your father and for the future. Thank you, Tengku Shahira. Thank you so much for joining me in this conversation.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for listening to He. A new episode is available every Thursday, and don't forget to subscribe, rate, and review. We'd love to hear from you. Follow me on social media at Rafi Ridzwan and at He Podcast for all the updates and behind the scenes. Once again, thank you for listening to He with Rafi Ridzwan.